Hello, and you're watching the April Fool's edition of Epic Sketch Time, where we all get, well, let's see, actually, we're not going to do anything unusual, I don't think. Anyway, I'm Mark Monlux. I'm located in Tacoma, Washington. I'm typically the host of Epic Sketch Time. We meet every Monday at 4:30 Pacific Time, and we talk and draw at the same time. I love to draw cartoon movie reviews. Other than that, I act as a graphic facilitator around town. Gentlemen, introduce yourselves and what you do.
Hi, I'm Bill Morse. I'm a cartoonist and illustrator in Seattle, Washington, and in my free time, I do a webcomic called Rhapsodies.
Hi, my name is Locke. I'm from Toronto, Canada. If you don't know what that is, that's Great White North of you guys. I am a freelance illustrator, cartoonist, I guess, digital painter, concept artist, blah, blah, blah. You can find me at madmonkeylove.com or anything with Mad Monkey Love on it. Twitter, Instagram, you name it. I should be there. All right.
So the project I'm working on today is I'm taking a killer clown illustration that I had on a poster. I've reduced him down to 2 inches. I've made him into a vector file, and now I'm going to use Pantone selections to make my color selections to create the layout to send to the enamel pin people.
The enamel pin people, is that somewhere in the US, or are you sending that to China somewhere?
Okay.
I have discovered that all of the enamel pin people are overseas. If we use anybody in the US, they are just acting as middlemen, so you might as well bite the bullet and deal with the folks directly. I have also learned that one of the best ways to get a bid on a pin is to send them the design, but as a low, don't send them an EPS file first. You want to get a bid from them first, and you want to ask them how much for 100 of these, and you want to tell them how tall it is. You want to show them the image as a low-res JPEG file so that they don't borrow it. Okay. For their own nefarious means, which has been known to happen. You then say that you're open to paying them 50% in advance and 50% upon delivery. This makes sure that they actually follow through and keep to their deadlines. All this I've learned from a person who does a lot of enamel work, and they gave a recommendation of a number of enamel pin places. So what I'll do is I'll put out the bid. I'll put together my bid submission, send it to all of them, and see which one comes back with the lowest bid. You also show the Pantone colors you're using, and you show them where you'd like to have the 2 pins mounted on the back, as well as not only when you send them the actual work, or when they're actually doing it, you let them know what Pantones go where the pins are, and typically they will put a little stamp on the back of who the artist is. So you let them know what you want to have stamped back there. And it's nothing fancy. It's just whatever font they have for doing that type of thing. I've learned that with enamel pins, they don't really charge you too much for a bunch of colors. Most people tend not to use a lot of colors. That's not what they're going to be charging you on. What they're going to be charging you on is the metal, how intricate it is, and whether or not it will pop out of the form correctly, how many of those forms they'll have to recast, that type of thing. So this is slightly detailed, especially the furrows above the eyes. But I've seen other announcements that are more detailed than this, but I'm wondering what my price range that I'm going to be. It's also on the large size. It's a 2-inch pin. So this could possibly run around I'm expecting to get a bid around $2 production per pin for a quantity of 100. Anyway, so that's what I learned about enamel pins.
Interesting.
Yeah, that's a lot of metal.
What are you guys working on today?
I am working on a friend's decal for his boat, which is kind of a tribute to a combination tribute to his granddaughter and sort of a tribute to his granddaughter as Eagle in here. Let me show you what I got so far. So I'm mostly happy with it. I've been spending. My deadline is Wednesday, and I'm trying to get pretty much everything blocked out now so I can spend tomorrow just tweaking the colors. And I'm mostly happy with it, though at the same time, I doubt any of the local tribes will allow me into the artisan community right just yet. So, but that's where it all is.
So I'm looking at my Pantone menu.
Uh-huh.
These Pantones are for matte or uncoated. I don't know what to do for enamel. Is enamel coated or uncoated?
Just use uncoated and stuff. If you want, put
I would guess coated.
Down. Yeah.
Yeah.
It depends whether you want smooth or matte.
Most enamel pin comes in gloss anyway, so if you want to be, I recommend if you just default uncoated for now, and put underneath if it's not uncoated, just put another.
Yeah, I'm going to go for version. Solid uncoated.
Yeah, just mention that. You should be okay.
It's been so long since I've worked with swatches in Illustrator. I'm trying to remember how to pull up the library.
Let me see.
Here we go. Open swatch library.
There you go.
Why is it not appearing?
It's probably off your screen.
Oh, you're right. Let me try that. I'm looking on both of my screens and I'm not finding it on either one. guy. Right there. I'm looking at my swatches and I'm not seeing it in my swatches. Oops. What the hell am I doing wrong? Open swatch library. When I open up the swatch library, all I get is this little thing on the color guide. That's the only thing that seems to pop up, and nothing in my swatch window.
Your swatch window should be there, though. It doesn't pop up in your swatch window. It's a new swatch, right? So you're going to have to look for it. It's another swatch.
It's another swatch.
Literally another panel that could be floating anywhere.
Right? Okay. Thank you. Let's see.
Wow.
Because I got a swatch panel right here and nothing in it.
Most of the time when you open a swatch, all I notice is the swatch floats, right? It's another one that floats across.
Okay.
So if you go up to the top, I think there's a window somewhere. You should be able to see.
Swatch libraries.
Yeah.
It's selected.
Yeah.
So where the hell is it? Okay. That's frustrating.
What about minimize your canvas? Maybe it's behind your canvas. No?
No. Now what I'll do is I'll put everything. Sometimes when I do split screens, half the tools get left behind on the other canvas. So I'll look through this canvas or this screen, and then if I have to, break down my split screen into one screen. Do some hunting here.
Do-do-do-do.
found it.
Yeah.
There it is. It was popping up on the other screen.
Yeah, see? Those pop-ups, man. It's going to be a long weekend this weekend coming up for me.
Oh, which event are you doing?
I'm doing a charity sketch duel at on Saturday. Then I'm going to be out in Markham, another city nearby, for on a Sunday. Then it goes on like that for every weekend. So then I got invited as a special guest artist, I guess, for a library event, talking to kids and parents and stuff like that on a Saturday the following week. Another small city con. Then after that is a big one, I guess, before the Easter weekend. So I think that's the one. Yeah, it's a big one on that one. That's one of the larger convention areas and stuff like that. Then, every week, all the way through June. Then the biggest one I'll be attending is the Niagara Falls ones. Niagara Falls on the Canadian side, not the Buffalo side.
Because everyone knows the Canadian side is the side to be at.
No, it's not even that. The Buffalo side is, I had a lot of artist friends who got now blocked and banned and all that stuff. So going over as special guests, and then they're looking at their Facebook pages and stuff. Now they're being banned and they're lawyering up and all the other stuff too. So it's gotten stupid at the border.
So I thought it was just, nicer on the Canadian side.
Yeah. It's just I don't know what's going on with the border crossing stuff lately. There's a few artist friends who got invited as a special guest, and they happen to be on their Facebook that says, "Hey, I'm doing commission for a pickup, blah blah blah." And when they went over there, they said, at the border crossing, I'm an artist, and they said, "Well, are you working there?" And I go, "No, I'm being a special guest." But then they pulled up their Facebook stuff and says, "Oh, how come you're saying you got commission? You're working there, right?" So that kind of shit's happening right now. And a lot of people are scared. So yeah. I don't know what's going on the US side. So it's gotten to a point where us artists is now being targeted. So friend of mine, Casey Parson there, he's just got invited. He's down in Colorado. He's doing, he did a cover for one of the Image books. So Image flew him down.
That's nice.
Yeah. I'm going to hit him up when he gets back. Hey, throw a couple cover my way.
The reason this color selection is going so slowly is I'm comparing my Pantone book to my print poster that I have here. At Emerald City, I sold Killer Clowns was by far my most popular print. And I'm down to just 2 prints.
Make sure if you are creating some pins there, you know, the metal itself, there's got to be, I forget how much it was. I read it somewhere. A friend of mine told me like a couple of millimeter. You can't go below a certain millimeter.
Right. And I made sure to do that. These all are like a 0.5 line weight.
Okay.
And the outer part is about a 0.3 line weight.
Yeah.
But, or, you know, I don't think, well, pardon me, the outer line weight is much more heavy. What am I thinking? I'm thinking like,
I'm looking at the wrinkles and stuff like that.
yeah, I made sure that those were, those are at least a 0.5.
Right.
But yeah, I was told the same thing, that that was a good rule of thumb. However, I was also told by other people that they can do much finer detail if they just charge you more for it.
Yeah. I think a lot of it is, I don't know, back then they used to pour molds and stuff, but I guess now they can just take that mold, that your line weight, and actually laser etch it onto a mold or something like that. The die is more precise or something like that than before. Now you can, you know, run it through like a 3D printer.
Still hand paint them.
Oh yeah, for sure. No, they're hand printed, but the metal molds and stuff like that, it's now machined and stuff like that.
Ah.
Right. Before they used to do, you know, the etching process.
Yes, yes.
Now I think it's just, now you can just run it through a, because that's why they want the vector art, right? They just run it through a, like some sort of milling or something like that. It's a lot quicker than before. Yeah, and it's hand painted. Everything's hand painted. It's probably lead. Lead paint. Saturday there we had a gallery showing with all the Cauldron magazine stuff.
Yeah.
That went really well. Yeah, there was a local tattoo shop that's in the Toronto area. It's called Seven Crown Tattoo, and they have a room dedicated for galleries. So they usually have artists exhibiting their stuff there. So they asked our creative team of the Cauldron magazines that we've been working on to actually bring the original art and put it up, and they provide the booze and the food. It was fantastic from 8 o'clock at night till 1 a.m. A lot of people turned out.
Until 1. It's amazing. Did anyone go to the movies this weekend?
No, just watching my selection.
The last movie I went and saw was Us.
Mm-hmm.
Which, you know, pretty decent. I actually enjoyed the Get Out more. You guys are so quiet today.
Well, it helps if people respond to what I say.
What did you say?
So no, I was saying I just watched my selection.
Okay, I'll go. Bill, what was your selection?
Okay, I was doing acid westerns, what they call acid westerns, which includes Kioma, which is weird, spaghetti, a very interesting spaghetti western, and then the other was Renegade, which is a adaptation of the comic book Lieutenant Blueberry by Jean Reno, aka Mobius. And so I watched Kioma last night, and which I mostly liked. He does some really, really cool camera angles and flashbacks, but the use of slow motion gets ridiculous after a while.
What do you mean, like Zack Snyder in Batman versus Superman, where every scene is a slow motion?
Not otherwise enjoyable.
It's the DC Universe joke thing.
I think I gave it a 6 or 2.5, whatever system you're using.
Wouldn't a 3 be a 6?
Oh, is it?
If it's a 5-star system,
All right.
and if you said 2.5 stars, and you doubled that, that'd be 5.
Okay.
10. So yeah, I think not to nitpick,
Uh-huh.
but I'm nitpicking.
Okay. Well, with us film buffs, nitpicking is our nature. And other than that, nothing that I'm particularly looking forward to. I mean, based on my policy of seeing genre films with this friend of mine, I think I'm going to get dragged to see Shazam pretty soon, which so far looks like big with superpowers.
You're doing a lot of unboxing of ramen there, Mark.
Oh yeah, you've noticed my
Your feed.
I haven't been ordering a whole lot of stuff lately. Or normally I started doing it when I like to do Kickstarter support.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
But you know how sometimes it takes them a while to deliver.
Yeah.
So I've got several supports out there. They just haven't come in yet. Oh, man. I'm having a hard time selecting the right Pantone for these cheeks. Oh, that's right. There's 219. Yes, there should be. I should be unboxing something new on Tuesday. I don't want to give it away what it is, though.
Mm-hmm.
It's 5 o'clock.
Ty's going to Wizard World, St. Louis, this weekend.
Who's doing the Wizard World?
Ty Templeton.
The what?
Ty Templeton.
I am also lost. Who is Ty Templeton?
He's the guy that did all the Batman animated series, the Batman books for DC.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, he's I took his comic book boot camp. He taught me a lot of stuff about doing comic books and stuff like that, breaking down stories and stuff like that. The old friend. He's their special guest. Nice.
I want to actually show you something. So I'm going to stop my screen share. Let's see. This is one of the cookie jars I kept in my collection. I got rid of many of them.
No.
Oh, wow.
Oh, yeah, you've shown me this one.
So this is my Superman cookie jar, and I will explain to people what you look for as a collector in cookie jars. First of all, condition is everything. If there's a chip or any wear, it seriously degrades the value. I mean, I've got some old cookie jars here, but they are nearly worthless. One of the things you want to look for are protrusions. Notice his lock of hair. That's a beautiful protrusion. These fists with the thumbs, those are protrusions. The reason you look for protrusions is these get chipped and damaged. So if you have a cookie jar with lots of protrusions and they're all in mint condition, that ups the value of the cookie jar.
Does the chains count as protrusions, or is that another term?
The chains also count as protrusions, but they're not as protruding. They're not like horns or something. They're almost inset. The unique thing about these chains is what I'm going on to next. You describe the glaze in two fashions. There's what's called hot paint, which is actually the glaze of the ceramic. And then there's cold paint. And cold paint is painted onto the cookie jar. Now, I'm going to show you another cookie jar. This is a McCoy cookie jar. And, come here, you little bear. This is an American McCoy cookie jar. And this thing is worth about $65. But at one point, he was covered with cold paint. This kerchief was colored. If you look, you could still see little flecks of paint that some industrious housewife didn't manage to scrape off. The eyes were painted and everything. If this had the cold paint on it still, it would be worth several $1,000s. About maybe $65,000, depending on the condition of the cold paint. If the cold paint had been mainly worn off, or was even still flaking, a seriously flaked cookie jar is not going to be as prizeworthy as one that has no flaking. But something that's been scrubbed clean like this, well, that just pretty much, this cookie jar is under $100 now. I'll show you another cookie. Oh no, it's too high. But I have a cookie jar that looks like a grandfather clock. It's done strictly as a hot paint cookie jar, but it's got a little tiny crack on the face, and that is enough to reduce the value. I particularly like the detail on the back with the lock on the back of the chains. But because Superman here, Warner Brothers did a whole series of cookie jars for a number of years. I know, Bill, my wife was so upset when she realized that I gave you the Marvin the Martian one with the ray gun.
Uh-huh.
Because if you were to show that, it's got a number of protrusions as well. It's also done with hot plate and cold plate. But Warner Brothers made the best cookie jars, and what they do is they smash the molds, and they don't make any more. There's a Superman that's similar to this one, but it's not the same one, and it's not done by the same artist style. So,
right, because that looks like the from the Denny series.
Yeah, the very first one that they did like this.
Mm-hmm.
In the what was it? Was that in the 90s or the aughts?
90s, I think. Very tag end of the 90s.
And so I took a look, and because of its condition, that one's worth couple $100 or more now. I also have, give you an idea, this is one of my favorites, also a Warner Brothers. And it's a Catwoman cookie jar.
Oh, nice.
And you see what I mean by protrusions. Those ears would not survive long. The eyes are cold painted. And the belt buckle, which is a metallic gold, and which is actually starting to show a little bit of wear, but I don't dare wash it because I don't want to wash off the cold paint. So
that kind of looks like what Ty does. He draws those. He won a bunch of awards, the Eisner Awards and stuff like that. He did the Batman Begins, Robins all in the 80s and stuff. It kind of looks like the way he draws this stuff, like Superman too. That's mostly his style.
Now there's a cookie company called Oogly. And Oogly does a lot of celebrities. I think I have a Marilyn Monroe one around here somewhere. But here's my James Dean Oogly jar. And boy, he's dusty. I haven't dusted him in a while. But these aren't worth very much. I've had this one for a number of years. Oogly only does hot paint, so no cold paint on these things. And they never break their molds. So
yeah, get the cookie in and out of there. What, his head twisted off or something?
Most of these.
Oh, okay. That's cool.
But because it's set up like that, it's got this lip to hang on to things. A lot of these are missing the lids because the lids slide off and get broken, and they're the first things to go.
Yeah, they look like.
If you don't have a lid to go with your cookie jar, well, guess what? It's probably broken. Now I have, I'm going to show you, I'll aim my camera up at the ceiling. There are some cookie jars up there. And one of them is a, let's see if I can get this camera a little bit closer. You see the two-headed green and blue dragon?
Yeah.
So that's from the Black Cauldron. But look at the reason, I mean, it's an ugly cookie jar. The colors are terrible. They barely match the characters. They're too dark. But look at that long, skinny head protrusion. The reason I bought that cookie jar was strictly as an investment. You get a really obscure movie that no one even knows has a cookie jar made for it, and then you have something like a big old protrusion like that.
Yeah,
odds are that the value on that's going to go up.
yeah, because with Black Cauldron, I think the only people who remember it are animation wonks and Lloyd Alexander fans.
And so right behind me is my Mona Lisa cookie jar right there. But yeah, I'm down to just about 80.
Oh,
Not, at one point, the house was overflowing with them. I had about 200, which even by cookie jar collector standards isn't really a lot. There is a gal in California, I think she has the largest cookie jar collection in the world, and it's somewhere between 5,000 and 8,000. And what she does is she rents them to movie and TV shows as set decorations. Can you imagine that? Renting a cookie jar.
well, I've followed a lot of industry things, and I'm aware of lots of various specialty warehouses. I'm sorry, I'm laughing. Shows how many times you've told me this, because it's sort of like you're talking about the size of your collection. I'm going, and the story about the Hollywood renter, and 1, 2, 3, go.
I'm getting to be like that old man that repeats his favorite stories.
I'm not in a position to judge.
So these teeth will be Pantone 607. I thought there was a way that you can manually enter in the number of a Pantone. Since I can't remember it.
Okay, I think I got all the basics down on this baby, but
Oh, I'm not sharing screen. People are staring at my ball head. Sorry.
okay.
Okay, so here's the coloring job on my clown. Oh, missed the spot.
Okay, I think this is mostly done, or at least the basic shapes are all down. Now I'll probably be wasting another hour tweaking it. Can anybody see it okay?
Nice. Pete.
Hello?
Bill, your screen's black.
You have to say something, Bill.
I'm saying something. I've been saying something for a while. And
I see it when he talks. Block, how about you?
okay.
Let's see. He's doing the Thunderbird,
Yeah.
right? Oh, that looks nice. I see it. Looks great.
Good job, Bill.
Okay.
Last week, my wife went away to a training session, and I missed her terribly. And we got all excited because a DVD came in the mail from Netflix of this animation we both wanted to see called Your Name. And then I misplaced it. And we looked around the house, and I thought for sure I'd put it in the TV room where I wouldn't misplace it. You know how that is. You put it in a safe spot.
Yes.
And we searched the house so thoroughly that all I could think of was, I did return a DVD. I'm wondering if it was in the envelope, and I accidentally returned it 2 DVDs in the same envelope.
Let me ask you a question. What's a DVD?
Dude. The DVD is the gateway to paradise. Because, believe it or not,
these Netflix still ship out DVDs?
Oh, yeah.
I did not know that.
It only costs $4 more a month to get your DVD subscription.
Damn.
And they have thousands upon thousands upon thousands of DVDs because Netflix, the stuff that's streaming, that's all stuff that has to be licensed.
Right.
But if you go in, their DVD collection is massive. And they still ship, and it's still a large part of their industry because there's still people like me that want to rent something, and it can only be found on DVD. I'm not completely pleased with how quick they are in responding of adding stuff to their library. But there's still a lot out there that they do have.
I guess I never noticed because I'm walking distance from Scarecrow.
Right.
One of the few remaining video stores. Believe me, Bill, if I was within walking distance from Scarecrow, I would be down there too, and I probably would still have my VCR plugged in.
Let me see. Hold on. Let me see. Dun, dun, dun. Dun, dun, dun. Let me see. Oh, where is it? Where is it? Here we go. Oh. All right. Speaking of DVDs, look at this DVD.
Is that a DVD or is that a laser disc?
That is a laser disc.
Oh wow! I haven't seen a laser disc in a while. That's hardcore. You have a laser disc player?
No, my laser disc players are pretty much done. Motor doesn't work.
The very first movie that I saw on Laserdisc was Star Wars.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, you want to look at this. Let's see. I got Blade Runner. I got Star Wars.
Nice.
Special edition. It's 2 laser discs. Every half hour, you flip the damn disc. I got, let's see. Oop. Let's see. Return of the Jedi. And Empire. Right, here we go. Empire Strikes Back. Oh my God. Oh, and a special collector's edition of Aliens, James Cameron.
Ooh.
And it comes like 6 discs or something like that. There's 1, 2, 3, 4. 4 discs. That is 4 discs. And a signed letter by James Cameron. And look at this. Oh my God. The book art.
Nice.
Yeah. There we go. Oh my God. There's like side 7, you know, they tell you everything, all the side that you can go into. Damn. Yeah. And they were widescreen too. I had to watch this on a 22-inch TV. Right? And remember those TV, the projector with the light in the back?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, those big ones? Because it was widescreen, right?
I can't help but imagine that your viewing enjoyment would be so much better now.
Oh, my God. Yeah. Let's see. Digital sound. That's what it says on the back here. In Dolby surround sound. That's why. 154 minutes, and that's about like 4 or 5 discs, and you got to flip the damn thing. Yeah. DVDs, man. Jurassic Park. Letterbox edition. THX sound. Right there. THX. I don't even know if they still have THX.
Can you name the movie where THX comes from?
Yeah, the THX 13 something. Or
no, I don't. You mean the Lucas movie, or am I being
that
clueless?
is the Lucas movie. Oh.
Come on, guys. It's only 3 digits. It's not that hard.
THX 142 or whatever.
Yes, that's the name of the title. THX 142.
So we're not talking about the Lucasfilm.
No, oh my God. Okay, it's THX 1138.
Yeah. Oh.
And that is where THX comes from.
Okay.
It's a homage to his first film. Means nothing else. So let's see. Locke showed us his laser discs. I showed my cookie jars. So what geeked out collection did you show us this week?
Oh, man.
8-tracks, man. Pull out the 8-track.
I picked up Spider-Man.
Spider-Man.
Are we talking the 8-track movie Spider-Man? Because I've got a friend who's got the 8 millimeters.
No, we're talking about, unfortunately, we're talking about the Spider-Verse movie, and I don't appear to have it on me.
That's actually a really good movie.
Oh, wait a minute. I do have the cover for it. And it's very enjoyable with the commentary and everything else, along with...
You know, we can see the screen, see it if you get rid of your
right.
screen.
Yes, right. Oh, come on, behave. They've got the cover, which, but for the most part, a very fun view. One that I very much enjoy having in my collection, though a little miffed that they didn't have quite as many making of videos in it.
Did your screen freeze, Bill? It looks like you're staring at something.
Oh, yes, I was. Better go back. It's, as I said, I have most of the, now that I have the shapes all blocked out, I'm tweaking them before I adjust the color. And so at the moment this orange is kind of like a placeholder before I decide on anything else. I mean, originally I was planning, essentially my assignment, as it were, was to do a vector version of it with my, to quote the client, my own personal vision. So where is it? And so based on that, where is it? Ah, no, that's mine.
It's 5:30.
Oh, come on. And now I'm not finding where I had it. Oh. Yeah, so anyway, the original palette had some bright reds in it to differentiate the different feathers, but I'm still deciding whether that's what I want or not. But I think for the most part, it's not.
I would make the yellow in the crown brighter.
Okay.
More intense. More primary.
Got it. This is, I mean,
Well, I'm looking at all these different colors of reds, and I'm thinking, maybe I don't need all those different reds. Maybe I should reduce the number of reds on this.
Hey, Bill. What's the crown represent on the Inuit art there? Or is just the way you interpret it? Because it's kind of, unless you're making it on purpose, it kind of feels out of place in the image.
Bill, are you there?
yes, I am.
Did you hear what Locke was saying?
No, I haven't heard Locke the entire session.
Oh.
Oh, Locke was asking, is the crown something that you added, or was it a client request?
That was a client request. I'm not particularly crazy about the crown design. The crown.
Could you turn that crown into a feather crown instead of a crown like that? Because it's just out of place, like from an Inuit art standpoint. That's what if you want to relay that from there, Mark.
So Locke was saying from an Inuit standpoint, the crown looks a little out of place, but if you could use, like making it a crown using feathers, and a crown, it might look a little less out of place.
Yeah.
But hey, if you're doing work by committee with your client, then you work with what you work with.
Yeah.
I mean, it's sort of like, as I said, I've been looking at a lot of the native. I've been studying the native art for my templates all weekend. I tried to lose it in and in the draft, the first thing he noticed is the crown's missing.
Right.
Well, it is past 5:30. Time for this week's Epic Sketch Time to come to a close. I want to thank everybody who watched. Please leave your comments in regards to our DVD selections, Laserdisc and cookie jars below.
Mm-hmm.
If you have tips for how to do enamel pins and stuff like that, please leave those in the comments below. Other than that, I look forward to seeing more of you guys next week at yet another Epic Sketch Time. Thanks, guys, and I'll talk to you later.
You have a good one.
Take it easy. Bye.